Lucky him. Anyway, let's hit. Hey,
Lucky him.
bloody oath. Let's hit the theme music. If it decides it's going to work. I don't think it wants to work. All right, cool. Well, you still there? Yeah, you are. Okay.
Yeah.
So the topic for this week has been the week in review and shitty roadwork sites. Things that driving through, you're like, man, if the RMS saw this shit, you would be shut down.
Oh, 100%. My gosh, this week was just the week for it, wasn't it?
It was like both of us. Actually, I should say all three of us. I'm pretty sure Swagman even came across a few roadwork sites that were just fucked.
Yeah, like it was crazy. Like the other day, like my partner works for a construction company that does roadworks, and my gosh, but he was telling me some of the stuff that traffic controllers do, like significantly late to site and that sort of thing, right? And then he tells me how they set up whilst doing mobile works. And I just feel my eye twitching at the thought of it now. Like, it was cool. I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Oh. And it's so hard to describe to the listeners because you really have to visualize it, right? So mobile works, right? They work in a spot for 5-10 minutes and then they have to move on through the same street. And apparently this traffic control company that they use, which will be left unsaid, had no signs, no nothing, just cones across the road. And I said, how many traffic controls did you have, babe? Only 2. I said, what happens if you get to a T intersection? Oh, there's only 2 of them, so the other street's not, like, controlled. I'm sitting there like, you're working with massive machinery, you're working with people on the road, and there's negligence. So what's going to happen? I said, oh. He goes, what's so bad about it? I said, once you work sites and you set up sites and you control sites, you look at how other people do it and you're like, damn, like, what was that 3 days of training even worth for?
Apparently it's not worth much. Like, the one that I came across was, one of the ones I came across was, I'm amazed there hasn't been a car accident there. In fact, there probably has been, because old mate, the traffic controller, had the road closed right up to the middle lane. So he just, like, without any warning, suddenly 3 lanes have become 1.
Yeah, that photo scared the living daylights out of me because I know exactly what road that is and whereabouts and the volume of traffic, and no doubt because of the construction site, they're going to start at about 7, right? It doesn't take many people to know those roads at 7 o'clock in the morning. No go. And that was even an ROL road.
Yeah, it was.
And no TGS or anything would have been approved against that ROL. No, nothing.
To make it even better, old mate has closed down both of these lanes using a grand total of 2 witches' hats.
Yep, and a stop sign in the middle of them, wasn't it?
Yep, that's the one.
Oh, I don't get it. Hey, like, yeah. I mean, people drive through a really good setup site, right? And they practice shits that they have to drive through this really safe site, right? And then they drove past that like it's completely normal. Yeah,
well, that's the thing. I did see him stop traffic at one point, and yes, he did use that one stop bat to bring all 3 lanes to a stop at this point. And oh man, he had people honking at him. He had people trying to, like, sneak around from behind to overtake. and it was a mess. And I'm like, look, as someone who does this professionally, you are fucked.
Yeah. Well, how about that site that I was telling you about close to my place when I was on the way to work the other day in Sydney? Quite like a busy main road.
Yeah.
During roadwork patches with asphalt. They would have been doing night shift. They would have just been coming off night shift. If they were on that same road until probably, or when I went through, it was probably around about 5 o'clock or so. If they were on that road until 7:30, I can tell you the traffic would have been backed up by about 3 kilometres. I'm not joking, because I've worked on that same road and I had to do day shift there, and our traffic was backed up that far. It's just the nature of the road. Anyway,
yeah.
So they had the portable lights with them either end of the site, which is fine. That side of the setup, perfectly fine. Although the site did extend for quite some time. So it was quite a large site. There was no traffic controllers along that whole site until some of the main machinery was there.
Yep.
And there was no other signage in the whole setup, right? So they only had full approaches either end of the setup. And they had someone standing in the middle with a stop slow but no lighting, no nothing, stopping traffic in the middle of the setup.
And this is with the lights too. I can tell you from experience that will screw things up very quickly.
Yeah, because they had the portable lights for the workers area. But for you to be able to see the traffic controller in the work zone, obviously had to have your lights on, right? There was no way else you could have seen this guy. And I'm sitting there and I'm just thinking, my gosh, I don't want to be that person standing in the lane, stopping traffic with no lights, no nothing. Mind you, where he was standing, so close to the work zone and the large machinery that they were using, where's your escape route, mate? Like, when I'm on bat, I always make sure myself and the other traffic controllers all have an escape route, especially on that road because it's an 80-kilometre road.
Yeah, so do I. In fact, hang on, I've got to get rid of this. In fact, it's one of the questions I ask people at a random point in the day. I'll just be like, I'll get on the radio and I'll be like, copy, James. Oh, yeah, mate. James, where are you going to run to if anything goes wrong? I'm going to run up this driveway. Fantastic. Good to know you've been thinking about that.
And it's as simple as that, right? And it's just as simple as that. And I was just like very dumbfounded in the setup that they had, and considering that roadworks were going to continue along this road at night time, in the coming nights, I was like, at what point does that traffic controller say, hey, this isn't safe enough, I don't feel safe enough to do my job because of where I am?
Yeah, but then that comes down to experience. Another problem with sending greenies out into the field, and I don't mean there's anything wrong with sending greenies out into the field. I mean there's something wrong with sending an entire crew of greenies into the field.
Yeah, and that's... Yeah, I can't say anything on their experience, but whether they feel comfortable with their team leader or whatever to say, hey, I don't feel safe. Like, it doesn't take a lot of experience to realize that something's not safe, right? It's a feeling you have. If you don't feel safe enough to do your job, you have to speak up, right? And I don't know why this guy didn't do it. And mind you, he wasn't wearing full high-vis PPE. And I know that in New South Wales, it's optional now if you wear the full whites, right? But I myself at nighttime always wear full whites regardless, because people are dumb. They'll see a pair of walking white legs and that's it, right? But I always wear my full whites on night shift, and this guy, kid you not, I did not see 1 ounce of high vis, especially also for nighttime. Nothing. He was wearing just a dark hoodie with no high vis stripes, no reflective tape, and just like black high-vis pants, but the tape was like you couldn't really see it. So for all I know, like that could have just been one of the road workers being on bat.
It probably was, to be honest. I know some of those projects and some of those guys do have their tickets, but it's like it's really like getting the passenger to fly the plane.
But they might have their tickets, but here's the thing, they don't have the experience. So it's all well and good to say, yeah, I've got my tickets, I can do this, but to know what to do and how to do things. A lot of these companies use generic TGSs, right? So they can put that on the safety sheet saying, yeah, we've used TGS 5A for this site, blah, blah, blah. But how to behave and how to make sure that things are still safe on that site, regardless, is a different kettle of fish altogether.
It is, yeah. Yeah. And actually knowing what the plan is as well. I mean, obviously this guy hasn't got enough experience to go, this isn't safe. I don't feel safe doing this. Whereas, say, you or I would. Either that or he just didn't care. Both of those things is a problem.
Yeah, both of those. And the combination of those things can be lethal, right? Like, yeah, you don't need these cowboys out there controlling traffic and then putting a bad rap on traffic controllers and roadworks and construction on roads and stuff. And, you know, it's these type of things that do lead to a degradation of traffic control work and thinking that it's piss easy. Anyone can do this.
Yeah.
Which fair enough. Anyone can do it with the right amount of training and experience.
They can, and that's why that's why we constantly have this conversation.
Exactly. But although the week that was, my week wasn't all that bad, you know. I had some amazing setups, some great people with me this week, and I scored absolutely huge on one of my sites.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It's not all bad because I was setting up my site and it was just near where they do the city to surf in that type of area. And someone was at the site previous to me. It was an ongoing site, and I found a Milwaukee rattle gun, like one of the 1,000 cork rattle guns. And it was left out overnight in the rain, and it was still working beautifully.
Somebody is going to be very upset this week.
I know, and I know that it's the start of tax time, but now's not necessarily the time to be starting to pay for tools. But I picked it up and I said to the boys, like, oh, I don't know if this is yours or not. Like, does this belong to you? He goes, nah. Someone dropped a tail shaft at the site yesterday. And they just someone like traveling in a truck that was going through the site. Tail shaft dropped out, and for those that don't know what a tail shaft is, crucial element in a truck, or any
basically vehicle. Basically the part that connects your gearbox to your wheels.
Yes, and there was breaker bars, sledgehammers, and stuff, and I was like, I might just hold on to these until this afternoon, and if anyone comes around looking for them, I'll gladly hand it back over. But no one came back, so that was a massive win for me.
How big's the breaker bar?
Oh, the breaker bar was just like a standard breaker bar, but I've already got one, so it doesn't really matter. But I was more looking at the, $700 tool that I had in my hand. I'm not so much a Milwaukee girl. I'm more of a Makita girl, so I had to go out and buy a Milwaukee battery charger for it. But I'm not complaining. I've saved at least $700, not including the battery either.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's one of your winnings this week, Cranky?
One of my winning setups. Well, I didn't really have anything too out of the ordinary except for that contraflow that I put in the other day.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say that was too winning. Apparently, a fair few people had difficulty understanding that.
Yeah, it's surprising. Hey, it's quite literally the same. You drive on the same side. The only thing is the delineation of the lanes.
Yep. All you do is you move a little bit over to the right. That's it.
Honestly, and I don't know why people get so stressed out when they see it, because we literally have chevrons or keep left signs or Fs with the arrow border, and that setup had it all. Just
Yeah.
the road just aren't the full quid.
Couple of shrimps short of a Barbie, right?
Yeah, a couple of shrimp short of a Barbie, that is for sure. But yeah, I've had that experience too. Like, people are like, oh, what side do I go on? I don't know whether you can't necessarily read or look at symbols, but this way. But I don't know. I'll add some more positivity about this week as well.
Yeah.
Actually, well, it's a negative that turned into a positive. I had 2 tires go on me on my work here this week. 2.
Yeah, that's right. You told me about that. How did that go?
Don't hold this against me. I'm not a terrible driver, and I have no idea what happened. So I have no idea.
Okay.
But I was in a counterflow, so I was able to change the tire on the side of the road safely.
Yeah.
So the boys didn't expect me to know how to change a tire, and they're like, "Oh, do you need a help, love? Like, do you need a hand?" And I'm sitting there with the background that I have. I'm like, "No, I'm fine, mate. Thank you. Like, thanks for the offer." Anyway,
that's when you're like, "No, I found a Milwaukee rattle gun on the side of the road the other day. I'll be right."
No, I found that this day after I changed off the second tire.
Yeah.
So I could have so dealt with that rattle gun beforehand, but anyways, the breaker bar was fine. But the hassle is the guys go, "Oh, do you know how to change a tire?" And like watching me, and I'm sitting there like getting the jack out, putting the car up, undoing the nuts and everything, dropping the spare, changing it over, and they go, "Or do you know how to change? Like, do you know how to tighten the nuts like in it?" And I said, "Well, how would you do it?" And he goes, "Just go clockwise." And I'm just sitting there like, "So you don't know how to change a tire?" It was just so funny. And then when it happened the second time, they're like, "Oh no, she's fine," blah blah blah. But then decides to prove that he learned my lesson of, the star formation that you do when you're changing a tire.
Yep.
And it was just so funny. And then in the same site, when I went to go and get my spare tire fixed at the shop, someone's trailer had come off their truck through our counterflow setup and was dragging along the ground. But luckily, the TCs were able to help them out safely and kind of get them out of the way so that wasn't interrupting the site, and the boys helped out and stuff. So that was another positive for the week. It's not all negative.
Yeah, well, you got to show off some skills there.
Yeah, got to make sure that they know that I know what the heck I'm doing.
Flex the muscles a little bit.
Oh, I did. Trust me, my hands were dirtier than theirs by the end of it. Trust me. And I was rejoicing. I sent a photo of me changing the tire to my manager, and she goes, "There's no better woman for the job, you know that." And I'm like, "Yes, thank you."
I had that happen a few months ago, actually. The Utes back tire went. Actually, I didn't even realize it had gone. It must have just been a slow leak or something like that, because I went into a cafe to go grab my morning coffee on the way to work. Thankfully, my site was just around the corner from this cafe. I had actually arrived and then gone off to get the coffee. All before the start of work, of course. I wasn't wasting any time. So I parked up, I went inside, and then like minutes after, some bloke comes in behind me and goes, "Is that your ute parked out the front?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why? What's wrong?" He goes, "Your back tire is flat." And I'm like, "What? Really? Okay." So I go out and check it, and it is flat. It's fucked. So I'm like, "Okay, cool. I've got a spare." So I crank the spare down. I get the little bottle jack out. Turns out the bottle jack was not up for the task.
They are useless.
The bottle jack was even though I mounted the bottle jack underneath, not underneath the wheel, but underneath the hub, right?
Mm.
Underneath the leaf suspension. It was too small to actually lift the wheel high enough to put the
And then
spare on.
by the time that you lift it off and change over to the spare tire, you hardly got enough room to put it onto the things anyway. Like you need that extra like 1.5 to 2 inches to be able to put it in.
So you know what I did? I ended up having to walk around this little this little shopping center. I went around the back and I found a pile of just discarded bricks. So I picked a couple of them up. I went over there, wedged them underneath the chassis. Okay, took the jack out, went back, grabbed another brick, put it underneath the wheel again, put the jack on top of that, jacked it up. Finally got the flat wheel off like that. And I'm like, how fucking lucky was I that there was this just stack of unused bricks behind these shops? Otherwise, I would have been screwed.
Oh, 100%. Like, and it takes 50,000 turns for it to actually go up anyway.
No, it was a bottle jack, so I was pumping it.
Oh, mine was a twist. So,
Ooh.
yeah, I was just sitting there. We're paid by the hour, aren't we? We can just.
Mm-hmm.
But there's nothing worse, I reckon, than like having the utes that we do, right? And they hold a lot of weight at the back.
They
like,
do, yeah.
And the fact that little jack that comes with the utes is just short of what we actually need. So annoying. So annoying.
Yeah, and like especially that bottle jack, because we carry like 2, maybe 3 tons worth of shit on the back of those utes sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm lifting this thing on the bottle jack, and I can see the damn stalk of the bottle jack is starting to look like a banana. It's like, oh god, I better get this done quickly, otherwise.
For that big man. No, I just don't know. Like, my luck was so crap at the start of the week with the 2 flat tires, and then to find that rattle gun. Oh, and it was a Thursday afternoon as well, so it was a Thursday that I found it. So I was like, this is the good way to end the week, isn't it? This is the good way to end the week.
Yes, exactly. That's the perfect way to end the week.
Oh, 100%. Oh.
There is nothing like picking up a couple $100 worth of free tools.
Look, I'll full on take it. But you know, the other day, last week's episode, you were talking about the QR codes that you found in this cafe that you were working near?
It wasn't a cafe. I think it was a massage parlor or something. But yeah, I do. Yeah,
I saw one this week in Sydney.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, oh my gosh, like it was in Sydney, and I saw it. I was like, wait, what are the odds? Like, I haven't seen it, and then Cranky mentioned it the other day, and now I can see one right now.
I wonder if it was the same place. Were you in Mossman by any chance?
No, I was in Haberfield.
It very well could have been the same place.
It was I don't know. It was near a fruit shop, and I saw it, and I was like, "What is this? Like, this is like they need to like frame this now. Like, this is a piece of memorabilia now. Like, this is history right here." But yeah, I saw it. I was like, "What are the odds? What are the odds?" And I'll be like, I'm just wondering, like, do they just keep it up because they just haven't taken it down, or do they feel like it's still necessary to have them up?
I wonder if it still works. Like, I wonder if you could go into this place and scan that QR code and check in like you could back in the old days.
I don't know. If you still got do you still have the photo on your phone from the one that you saw?
I think I do. Let me check.
Because you can just click it.
Maybe, yeah. Let me see how far back was that. It was a couple of days ago now, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was about a week.
It was about a week ago.
About a week ago.
This Sunday. Okay, so I'll go. No, I think I deleted it.
Bugger.
Yeah,
Bugger.
because that would have been cool. That would have been something interesting to find out.
Yeah, definitely.
I have come across that picture of the donkey dick that I found last time to try and explain what it was to you guys.
That's another thing. I spoke to my partner and he was like, "Why?" And he could hear us doing the podcast last week, and he was like, "Why did I hear the word in the podcast?" And I said, "Context, donkey dick," and then I showed him, and he goes, "Oh, they're called donkey dicks." I was like, "Yeah, little beholds to me. Like, I didn't call them donkey dicks, but like I was saying to one of my TCs, because there was a site across the road, just a construction site that had donkey dicks up with the flaggy, with like the flag tape, like string flags across it.
Yeah.
For pedestrian management, and I saw it and I was like, "Oi, do you know what those are called?" I said, "They're donkey dicks," and they're like, "What? What?" And I said, "Yeah," and they were like, "I don't see how it looks like a donkey dick," and I said, "Well, I haven't seen any donkey dicks until last week when I started to search up donkey dicks on my laptop, and then I saw it, but you know, each their own."
Oh boy.
So hopefully this week's going to be a bit more positive, a little bit better flowing for both of us then.
I think so. I think a few good things are going to be put in place for us. I don't know, as maybe as an industry as a whole, or just in general, maybe just you and I. But I have a feeling that good things are coming.
Yeah, 100%. And another thing that I saw on I think it was the Traffic Control New South Wales page, being the end of tax time, everyone's doing their taxes and doing all their deductions. I saw this girl post just an innocent question, like, of what she could possibly claim. Obviously, what she wanted to start making sure she had all the receipts for everything, or highlighting it all in her bank statements or whatever. And people are absolutely taking the piss out of what you could claim.
They love to just attack. Oh, you mean they were making fun of what you can claim, right? Fair enough.
Suggestions I probably cannot say on the podcast, but some really crude stuff. I'm like, well, if you've got enough time to be able to make those deductions on site, I tell you what, you're wasting your time.
Yeah. But
yeah, it's definitely interesting. It's definitely interesting what you can claim as a traffic controller, but not financial advice, by the way. But if you've got a good accountant, they can help you out.
Yeah, I should have gone to an accountant this year.
You don't go to an accountant. You do your own tax.
I usually go to an accountant, but I was in a bit of a hurry this year, and I find it difficult to find time to go to an accountant anyway. But yeah, I think I screwed my tax return up a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I make Excel spreadsheets because I'm a bit of a fucking nerd. With all my deductions, everything that I can claim in there with the dates, the amount, everything else like that. So as soon as I give it to my accountant, it's all free flowing. Like, it's pretty simple.
For my business, I use QuickBooks.
Yeah, QuickBooks is pretty good.
Yeah. And then I go into my accountant's office, and actually a lot of the time you can print this out on QuickBooks. Where is it? There we go. Cash flow. No, my business. View profit and loss. There you go. There's the profit and loss report straight away.
There you go. Makes it easy.
Yeah, makes it very easy. So I just print that off on a piece of paper, take it into the accountants and say, hey, look, do my income tax, and there's my profit and loss report as well. So, there's no keeping track of anything. Everything I do for business-wise, I just have to take a photo of the receipt, and that's it.
Yeah, 100%. Makes it so much easier. And yeah, there's heaps of apps that you can do. Like, I know that H&R Block have an app where you can take photos of your receipts and stuff. So any PPE gear that you get, you can also use.
Yep. I've claimed the PPE. I've claimed My radio, I've claimed distance traveled to and from work, and still I only got $300 back.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just fucked this year.
Nah, I'm looking at about $6,500 of deductions.
Crikey, okay.
Phone bill. That's also because I'm a university student. So
Right.
internet, everything else like that. But majority of it is actually traffic control stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose the other thing is I don't really pay for my uniforms in any way because my company supplies hard hats. They supply shirts and pants, everything except for the boots.
Yeah, which, it changes from business to business. I mean, like, it's just dependent on them. But then at the end of the day, like, we've got to have it anyway. So it's not that much of a loss.
Yeah, exactly. Now, it's something we've all got to use, and apparently some people don't even feel the need to wear that. So,
Oh, honestly, I don't know. Even some, like, of the actual workers don't actually use it. And I'm sitting there like, how? We're expected to wear it, so why can't you?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, come on. All you got to do is just go put your fucking hard hat on. It's not hard. Okay? The hat is hard, but the actually putting it on is not.
It's not. You can manage it. You're okay.
And I mean, on top of everything else, the hard hat generally has a better brim than your fucking baseball cap anyway. So go put the damn thing on.
Exactly. And, it's not hard. Like, if it's required, do it. It's required for a reason. But
it is a requirement. And sorry.
No, just people just tend not to use it because they're just arrogant.
Yeah, exactly. Like, don't complain. This is a rule that we've put in place, and I've enforced every other day that you've worked with me. Please just go put the damn hard hat on.
Yeah, 100%.
No,
and
it's too heavy. It hurts my neck. Oh, blah blah blah.
It's our job as supervisors to make sure that they do it anyway.
Yeah.
And if not, we're the ones that get in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. We're the ones that get approached and go, hey, listen, why isn't old mate down there wearing his hard hat? And you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, I've told him 15 times to put the thing back on.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. But I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see how some of the changes are. I haven't seen any of those speed cameras in any sites, though, yet.
In any or in many?
In any.
Me neither.
I don't know what
when they come in, though.
Do you know have you seen like a photo of what they look like?
Yeah, to say they look like a minion without pants is pretty accurate, I think.
Minion without pants. So is it going to be the traffic controls company to, implement that?
I think it's going to be up to them to lease them, but then the RMS will hand out the fines.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense then. But yeah, I've been looking around seeing if I've been able to see any. Definitely.
As I found out, the RMS is the only government body, the only body at all that can hand out road-related fines.
Yeah, it's interesting after last week's episode talking about that too, hey? About how countries do it and, how they might be able to fine people.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, it is interesting.
But, I mean, I wish I had that power sometimes.
No, like private corporations cannot. They can't pursue fines.
Yeah.
So, say for example, you've gone to park at your local shopping centre and you go over and they give you a ticket on the windscreen. That you can totally get away without paying that because they're not a government body.
Yeah. It's just, I know I see some idiots on the road, and it's like, do you have your energy to enforce this somehow, or I just reckon sometimes it'd just be beneficial if we were actually able to.
Look, when it comes to keeping people safe, I definitely have complete energy to continue doing that.
Yeah, 100%.
I would love to be able to pull people over and just be like, listen, you're being a dickhead. Here's a $110 fine.
Yeah, but maybe one day, you never know, maybe one day they'll allow us to have that entitlement.
Mm-hmm. Although I have a feeling that if we do start bringing these mobile speed cameras into construction sites, Super Cheap Auto and Repco are going to start reporting massive spikes in brake pad sales.
100%. Maybe this is a good business strategy then.
Yeah, so right before they do that, right before they bring them in, we should all invest in Super Cheap Auto stock.
Oh, 100%. I'd be happy to do that. Heck, I would already be contributing quite a bit anyway. So.
Oh, absolutely, me too. Back when I was driving, when I was driving clapped out shit boxes, I was their top customer.
I would have happily done that with plug kits for tires the other day.
Yeah.
No, I wish.
Oh.
I wish, but I don't know. It's going to be one of those things where how are they going to be able to monitor it? How are they going to be able to manage it? God only knows.
I think it's going to be something that can be done via 5G.
By 5G.
Yeah.
Or Service New South Wales? Like, that would be pretty good to manage it.
These things could probably send the photos directly to the RMS.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, because if you can search up people's number plates and stuff, it's only the next step, really.
I wonder what the level of training would be behind setting one of them up too, because it's not like they're just going to appear on site. They're going to be we're going to be setting them up ourselves.
Yeah. And that's going to be some more weight on the back of our utes.
Yeah, but have you actually looked at them? They got like little excavator tracks.
Little cameras?
Yeah, the speed cameras. They got excavator tracks underneath them, so you can sort of dolly them around site to wherever you need them parked.
Oh, I'm going to search it up.
Yeah.
Is it just in New South Wales that they're testing it out so far?
I think they're in Queensland.
Queensland. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see the vision. Yeah. But yeah, how that's going to be interesting. Unless if they keep it for more main roads, you can have the ones on the trailers.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm looking at it, the one that they got, I can understand the minion without legs situation.
See,
with the solar panel on top.
Yep, that's the one.
But it also gives me like Minions had a baby with Wall-E.
Yeah, kind of. I think that's the that's because of the excavator tracks underneath it.
Yeah. I don't know. Just imagine if it looks from what it looks like for the listeners. It's probably like a similar size as a telephone booth situation. It's on tracks like an excavator, and it's got a solar panel on top. But from what I can see here, it looks like someone could actually sit inside it with a little radar gun.
Well, someone might have to, because that's how they would drive it. So it looks like what...
True!
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happens. Like, you get in, you steer it like an excavator, and drive it to where it needs to be parked. I wonder if there are things like specific angles that it needs to be parked at as well.
I know, I wonder. That is so... Yeah.
Because all of these pictures seem to be at like a 45-degree angle to the road.
Yeah.
They all seem to be kind of looking down the road, not across it.
Yeah, they're not... Yeah. I'm just looking at one where it's got like the... where it's like from a news article from a radio station.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like... Its tracks are perpendicular with the road.
Yeah.
But it's like, 45-degree angle from where the road actually is, looking back on the traffic.
Yeah, its body is sort of turned away from the road.
Just imagine just being able to sit there and just judge traffic all day.
Is that not what we do as it is?
Oh, I mean, in pure essence, maybe, but not the same. Don't degrade what we do for work.
No, that's true. I shouldn't.
But yeah, that's wicked. Like, I'd be keen to try to see how that would work. Like, I wouldn't want to be the back end of getting a fine or anything, but it'd definitely be interesting, I reckon, to see how it would work.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see how it would be set up.
Yeah, because I wonder if because you've made that so right into saying that someone would probably have to sit in there to be able to, maneuver it and stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm keen to see those around.
So am I. I'd be very interested to see how they work.
Like, do you get the feeling that it's not going to be every site? It's going to be, like, mainly ROL roads or something like that?
Yeah.
Because that'll be an expensive piece of infrastructure.
And where would you put it, too? Would you put it at the beginning of the taper, or would you put it at the end of the site, or would you put it in the middle where it's kind of in everyone's way, but in the best place to capture people and deter them from speeding?
Yeah, I mean, if they can't see a bright yellow thing like that, the size of that, then I think they've got some problems.
Yeah.
But But although I do think it's going to be better for people's safety, especially if it's a long-term site, right? Like, because whether they'll actually implement this type of thing for multiple sites or whether it's just going to be one of those things for main roads. But I reckon it'll be definitely interesting to see how that would go.
I think it would be something more for long-term sites. And then you could, on a daily basis, just move it to a slightly different spot each day, just to be like, you know what, we're going to get these people used to having this speed camera over here, and then tomorrow we're going to fuck them over and put it somewhere else.
Yeah, and at that point someone's going to start putting on ways, like making sure that people know that there's cops or whatever there. See, that's something that I always do on my sites, is I always put like construction down or like a hazard thing down. So there's a lot of people, I didn't realize how many people actually use weights.
Yeah, I put construction, and if it's a particularly bad site, like people are speeding pretty well non-stop, I put police there as well.
Yeah, just because that's going to be something more of a deterrent for I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd just be interesting to, because I think this one says that they're going to be deployed. Oh, they said deployed in Queensland September last year.
Yeah, they were. They exist already. It's just a matter of getting them over here.
See, I think that things like this should be fairly well generalised between states, no?
They should be. It's just another reason why it completely astounds me that everything seems to be different in different states. Why is each state treated like a different country?
Yeah. Same with like our training and stuff, because that's something that I still don't get, because I'm planning to do a trip around Australia with my partner, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to do traffic control, is so that when we go traveling, I am able to the road in most states.
Yeah.
But you're restricted in some states. I think it's Queensland we can't.
Really?
Yeah, I think with the New South Wales tickets, I don't think in Queensland you can do traffic control. You have to do a bridging course.
Oh, okay. Well, that's kind of shithouse. I thought they were universal.
Nah, I think if you've got Queensland, you can go in New South Wales, but not vice versa. I don't know how it works, but yeah. Because they've got to do the logbook, what we were speaking about last week. They've got to do the full logbook and stuff, or their 20 hours of experience to be signed off.
Yeah.
But we don't. We do our units, and then the assessment, and then into the workforce. But no.
Well, we used to do the logbook. Not so long ago, I remember filling in a logbook for work, but we seem to have done away with that now.
Yeah, definitely interesting, but yeah, we'll just got to see how that goes. Because if not, like, there's a plethora of other jobs we can do.
Yeah, that's true. There's always things like bartending or what have you, labour.
Yeah, I definitely think I'd rather go labour than bartending, because I find like I'll be too I'll be more likely to drink the alcohol that I'm serving than what I am to eat a piece of plywood. So just white card gives you a lot more opportunities.
Yeah, that's true. I definitely remember DJing in a pub and just I wasn't sober by the end of those shifts.
DJ Cranky's in the house.
I was, yeah.
Oh, I couldn't, because I just feel too obliged, really. But talking about having a white card, one of our clients had someone with that only got their white card the Friday previously, and this was Tuesday that I was working with, a labour hire guy. And one of the guys goes, "Can you go and grab me a shovel?" said name. And he goes, "Oh, the one we used yesterday?"
What?
It's kind of like a situation of I want you to jump and jump how high situation. Shovel's a shovel. They're all the same. I'm sitting there like, this kid for real. And then he didn't know how to mix quickset cement either.
Just read the damn bag.
I mean, you could pretty much put the concrete in the hole and then piss on it if you wanted to, and it's still going to dry.
Most people I know just don't even wet it. They like, we'll just pop it in there and wait for it to rain.
I mean, works, but also not great.
Probably not the greatest, but that's the way they do it.
If you feel that it works, you should go ahead. But I don't know, it's one of those things. It'd be interesting to hear from potentially some construction people what they think about construction or what they see of traffic controllers.
Yeah, I know the general consensus is that we're the people on site that do nothing, but that's kind of what you want to see with traffic controllers. Shit's hit the fan when you see the traffic controller running.
Yes. Don't run on sites, guys.
Yeah, don't run on the job site, but things are going pretty well where if everyone's kind of relaxed and just it's all flowing smoothly. That's what I'm trying to say.
Exactly. Like, you don't want us to see us frantic or stressed out, like, that it's evident that we're stressed. There might be a little bit of stress if big bro set up, but if not, it's all good in the hood. But yeah, like, I know the boys that we work with always take the piss, like, "Oh, you've got an easy job, don't you?" Blah blah. I'm like, you don't see half of it. Sorry, love. But
yeah, look, you come and stand for 16 hours. Just no, you're not allowed to put your phone away. No, you're also not moving from that spot. I don't give a fuck, man. Go stand there for 16 hours and see how much you enjoy it.
Yeah, well, not even, because even when it gets to like the 5-6 hour mark, you're like, I could so just, have a flick through my phone right now, or go and do this or whatever. But unfortunately, not. And then I don't know if you experience this when the people that you work for order Uber Eats and then the Uber driver gives it to you.
Yeah, I've experienced that.
There's been countless times where I've been like, they've ordered breakfast or whatever, and they've brought it into site, and the Uber driver gives me the stuff, and I'm like, I don't know what you expect me to do with this. Like, I'm literally here doing traffic control. Like,
Yeah.
Like yelling over the boys, did anyone order a Mighty Big Muffin meal with the iced latte? Or just take out a hash brown out of their bag.
Which one of you people is Ben?
Who's Ben? You're going to be one hash brown short of your Mighty McMuffin meal. Sorry, sir. This is the tax you've got to pay.
What absolutely shits me even more than that is the Uber Eats driver that doesn't tell you what they're doing. And like the people you're working with have ordered food and they've ordered it to an address that's on the job site because it's the closest pickup point. And you'll see this motherfucker decide that he's going to stop in the middle of the construction site.
Yep.
And get out. And it's sorry.
I've definitely had that.
And then because they can't figure out where the person is, they've run over to the house. Okay. Old mate's ordered Uber to number 26 and then he's fucked straight off. Okay. He's run over to the house. They don't know what's going on. So he's come back to the car. You absolutely love it when you see them chuck the hazards on. That's like, I'm allowed to park everywhere. I want lights. It's like,
yep.
No, bitch, you're not. Get out of my job site.
Yeah, I had that literally the other day. I had a contraflow going and stopped in the middle of the contraflow.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what are you doing? Get off the road. And I've gone up to him. I'm like, you're not, like, I knew the residents' cars because we'd been there previously.
Yeah.
I knew who the residents were, that sort of thing. And I'd ask them in the morning, hey, are you expecting anyone? Like, roughly what time? So then I know that I've got to make way in the contraflow or whatever for them to be able to come into the site. I was like, who are you? Like, you're literally parking in the middle of an active lane right now. I said, it doesn't take drive another 5 or 6 meters up the road and then pull over. You would have been fine. But, tell you what. Cool.
Then you get the ones that pull into the closed lane, right in amongst the machinery and everything, and they get out with their little McDonald's bag and their phone, and they're like, "Who here is Mackenzie? I am looking for Mackenzie." And it's like, mate, get off the job site, go park somewhere else, okay? Mackenzie will come to you, all right? I'll tell him that his food's here.
Yeah, no, the number of times that have happened, it's insane. So it's either they park in the most unsafe spot or they park in the middle of a lane and they give you the food.
Yeah, and you're already walking over to them and they're like, they've got the food bag out for you to grab. And it's like, no, I'm not here for the food. I'm here to tell you to piss off because can't you see you're in everybody's way? Get out of here. Go away.
Yeah.
I just have to deliver the food. No, you have to get out of here first. You can go park somewhere else and walk back. I don't care.
Yeah. And then another thing that of people parking inside the work zone, residents. So I had myself and one other traffic controller doing this contraflow. And I'd gone into my ute to go and get my drink bottle to have some water. And they've parked. So I've had the contraflow and had my ute in the setup with the arrow board up and my beacons on, everything else like that. And this guy decides to park his van right behind my ute, so it obstructs the arrow board, obstructs everything on a corner.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sir, like, I'm sorry, like, what are you doing? And he goes, oh, I'm just going to visit this person. I said, look, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to get you to move your car. Like, you're parked on a bend in the middle of an intersection and you're obstructing, like, view of, like, my ute and the setup in general. And he goes, I don't have to move anywhere. And so I was like, at that point, like, I've given you an instruction.
Yep.
I can't make you do anything. Although if they are parked illegally, you can call the local police and say that, you know, they're parked illegally, which
Yeah.
and the cops are very, very likely to come over and give them a citation for it too. I've had that experience in Sydney.
It's always fun when that happens.
Yeah, like one of the sites was one of the trucks that the boys had to drive was parked in this particular spot to be able to do the works, right? And there was two cars. There was the last car park on the roadside and then a no stopping zone behind it. And that's where like the setup was, you know, meant to kind of be in the work zone, right?
Yeah.
And I called the local police, gave the number plates. I said, look, I just need this car to be moved. They've been notified, but they still park there. I need this car moved, and this car is also parked illegally. Sure enough, came out. And I know I'm going to seem like an absolute Karen for doing that, but also kind of also not my problem.
It's fair. I mean, you told them not to park there. They're not really allowed to park there, even when you're not there. So,
yep.
You know, it's time we started teaching these people a lesson, because this kind of thing pisses me off as well.
Yeah,
they pull it on me all the time.
Because sometimes there's work that actually needs to be conducted in that no stopping area, right? And our TGS go that, you know, parking prevention and stuff like that, and a TGS to match what would be recommended for the site.
Yep.
And, you know, sometimes those spots are there for a reason, not only just because they're on a corner or whatever, but maybe there's utilities right there that need to be accessed by different contractors or whatever at any time. Similar to like the emergency vehicle only bay areas. Same principle.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully the next week's going to be better with people with better attitudes.
My all-time favorite are the ones that will pull in and either go, it's okay, 5 minutes, brother, 5 minutes, I will move. It's like, no, now you will move. Go away. Or
100%.
The ones that get really upset and they're like, oh, I've been parking in this spot for this club for 20 years and you're not going to stop me doing it today. Yeah, I am actually, and you're going to go.
We get that so often. Like, no, you don't. I'm sorry, unless it's like the metered, like the permit thing for the residents.
Yeah.
Or there's you're working in a car park for a residential block or whatever, if that makes sense. Like, if you're working in somewhere where there is an assigned spot for someone, you get it. You can have that pass. But I've also notified you. But if it's just a normal residential area and there's no like parking zones or whatever, or 2-hour parking or whatever, and it's fine in the area, I'm sorry, you don't pay for this spot.
You got absolutely no right to be pulling into a construction site. I mean, we're not telling you that because, you know, we're just there to be dicks to you. Although, as much as I would love to have that right, we're telling you that because we don't want your car to get damaged. Parking it there is going to result in it being damaged.
Yeah. Or, yeah, being damaged, and then they'll be the first to complain. There's a scratch up inside my car, blah, blah, blah.
You guys covered my car in dust. Yeah, well, no, actually, if I remember correctly, I told you this morning not to fucking park there, so go away.
Yeah, you gotta reap the repercussions. I want to speak to your manager. I wanted to speak to the site supervisor. or I'll probably get them for you. If not, you're talking to myself, which is who you're asking for. So what do you expect me to do for you now, madam?
I love when they ask for my boss, and I'm like, listen, who do you think told me to tell you to bugger off?
And at that point, like, it's you and the client site supervisor.
Yeah.
So who would you rather speak with right now?
Why are there balloons?
I don't know. I saw that before.
Hang on, let me try that.
I don't know what I did.
Some kind of gesture. Maybe I thought you were waving, or I don't know. Well, anyway, I think that's just about all we have time for. So we should probably mention the show's sponsors. We have, if you're in Mandurah over in WA, this is normally Swagman's part of the show. Go visit Simo's Butchery over at the Lakeland Shopping Centre there, which when I end up going to Perth in a couple of months, it's going to be one place I'm going to visit because he's pumped this place up so much to me that I would love to try some of their meat. Maybe they sell biltong. I'll find out the hard way, I guess.
Biltong.
What about biltong?
Love biltong.
Do you know any of the good South African shops around Sydney?
No, but I know that there's one in Vaucluse. Not a South African shop, but a butchery that does really good biltong.
I can after the episode's finished recording, I'll give you a couple of suggestions. How's that sound?
Sounds bloody magical.
My favourite places. What else do we have? We have, of course, we've got Swag HQ. Go find them on Instagram. That's Swag, someone with a goal. SWAG. They're all about just pumping up entrepreneurs and giving advice. And then lastly, we have ontrackmeals.com.au. Go to ontrackmeals.com.au/in-the-zone, where you will find all sorts of pre-cooked meals and pre-packed meals, which you can then heat up on site with a flameless ration heater for those random emergency jobs like I get called out to, and type in the promo code INTHEZONE10, that's all caps, for your 10% off.
Yum, yum, yum.
Absolutely yum. I actually sometimes look forward to going out to emergency jobs just because I'm like, I am really looking forward to this, what is it I got there in the moment? Ginger lamb and pearl barley or something like that. That's just sitting in the lunchbox waiting to be eaten, and I'm like, yeah, that's gonna be a fucking sick dinner.
Yeah, I'm so keen because I ordered some, and I'm just keen on it. I'll just eat them on a day-to-day basis. I don't care, but I'm absolutely keen for the chili con carne.
Yeah, the chili con carne's one of my favorites. I think I've got that in the lunchbox as well at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. And they've got some great bundles as well. Like, they've got the starter pack, so if you want to try it out and see how it goes, that is awesome. Awesome starter. Or if you like Summit bars, cranky, they've got a 10-pack of chopped cherry Summit bars. I tell you what, they are delicious.
The Summit bars are the only thing that those guys sell that I will not sing the praises of, because I just can't. There's something about them that I don't know. I don't like the taste of it.
Oh, it's so good. But yeah, they've got some awesome stuff there as well. So go and check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that, we shall bid you all adieu and talk to you next week. Bye-bye.